Good afternoon and welcome back everyone to our Options Education webinar series. My name is Tony Zhang. I'm the Chief Strategist here at OptionsPlay. And today is a pretty special day because over the past year or so, we have spent quite a bit of time reviewing how AI assistants such as ChatGPT can be utilized in many different ways to help you do research, screen for trade ideas, and overall improve your trading. And today we are very excited to announce that we have launched our own GPT called Ask Options Play, your personalized trading assistant that's going to help you analyze and evaluate your ideas, your positions, your charts, and help you become just overall more disciplined trader in just about every single facet. So let's jump right into it and kind of help explain to you what it is, how do you use it, and what you can potentially get out of it. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, what we are dedicated to doing here every single Thursday afternoon as part of our Options Education webinar series is teaching you how to trade sustainably and confidently and grow your account over the long run. That spans everything from helping you understand option strategies, technical analysis, fundamental analysis, trading psychology tools, really a well-rounded education to help you grow your account over the long run. So this is very much part of that. And as you can see, there are many of you joining in already on this session. So if you are joining us for the first time, please feel free to chime into the chat window. Tell us who you are, where you're joining from. As you can see, there's a very vibrant group of traders as part of this community, all dedicated to helping you become a better trader. So we are very excited, like I said, to kind of introduce all of this to many of you during today's session. So before we get started, what we are going to discuss here today is purely for education and demonstration purposes. It is not a solicitation or recommendation to buy or sell any of the specific securities that you'll see as example purposes during today's session. So let's jump right into it. Today, what we're going to cover is, first of all, what is Ask Options Play, a GPT that we have just launched here. We'll talk a little bit about what areas this GPT focus on, how it's going to help you do objective analysis on ideas, your platform, your portfolio and charts, kind of give you a clear understanding as how it works and how it complements your options play tools before we open this up for Q&A here at the very end. But the primary question that I want you to be able to walk away from today's session is how can I become a more consistent trader with the help of an AI trading assistant, specifically the Chat GPT or the GPT, the custom GPT that we have launched specifically for helping you improve as a trader. So now during today's session, we're going to go over how to utilize the custom GPT that we have created. Alongside with that is your companion app, OptionsPlay. Whether you're looking for an idea on OptionsPlay, whether you are tracking your portfolio using OptionsPlay or simply using it to do research, the OptionsPlay platform is at the core of how you can utilize this custom GPT that we have built. And you can sign up for a free trial at optionsplay.com/signup or pointing your phone to that QR code. If you do not already have access to OptionsPlay, or if you're joining us for the first time, that's going to give you access not only to the tools that we're going to show you during today's session, but it's also going to give you access to the recording and slides so that you can review and follow along at your own pace after we post the recording of this session this weekend. So my goal for this session is to help you become a confident, consistent trader with the help of our new custom-built AI trading assistant. I've been working on this for many weeks. This is while this is something that's brand new in terms of us creating this, this is something that is available to you after today's session for you to use. And it's going to help you do two things. Number one, craft a plan. Provide a framework to how to objectively view your ideas and positions so that you can put yourself onto the path of being a more consistent trader. And also helping you stick to your trading plan more importantly. So providing you with the tools to assist you with your trading decisions based on your trading plan so that you can become a more consistent and mindful trader. So let's jump right into what is Ask Options Play. So for those of you that have used ChatGPT, hopefully you are familiar with just the concept of using ChatGPT, as you probably may have in the past attended one of our sessions before where we have showed you how you can use ChatGPT for various purposes. We've shown you how you can use it to build custom indicators on charting packages. We've shown you how to use it to build trading strategies. We've shown you how to use it to build a trading plan. There is a lot of ways that you can use ChatGPT. And over the past year or so, we have spent a lot of our time showing you how you can do that. Now, I would say the limitation of what we've shown you over the past year or so is the fact that we had provided you with the prompts in previous sessions so that you could replicate what we have showed you how you can use ChatGPT. The challenge there is that it requires you to find the prompts that we have written, customize the prompts that we have written, and constantly paste, sometimes what are very lengthy prompts into ChatGPT to get the output that you might want or that we're suggesting that you can get out of ChatGPT. So what we have done is we basically created a custom version of ChatGPT that already has all of that built in. So all of the rules that we have shown you in previous sessions of, how to look at a trade idea, different rules that we have in place, best practices for managing a position, that has all been coded into this custom version of ChatGPT so that you don't have to, remember the prompts or copy and paste the prompts and build your own prompts to get the output. You can get the output of it because we've already built it into this version of ChatGPT. And this trading assistant is designed from the ground up to help you make disciplined decisions. And this is primarily to help you address confirmation bias. The fact that, traders, what we do is we tend to already have a bias on something, and we simply use the charts or the different tools that are on our screens to kind of confirm our bias, rather using the data that we're seeing from, our platforms objectively to make that trading decision. So it's going to help you deliver objective analysis based on common trading rules. So most of the rules that you have maybe heard us teach over the years, whether there are best practices for entering the position or closing the position. And best of all, just no more copying and pasting prompts. Everything is already built in for you into the custom GPT that we have built, right? So that's kind of what we have spent the last few months working on. And I want to give you an idea as far as what we focused on. There's 3 areas of focus that this current version of Ask Options Play is designed specifically for. And I will tell you, there are a lot of areas that we want to take it to, but for now, in version 1, what you have access to here today, these are the 3 things that you can have access to. First of all is idea generation. Now, when you're evaluating an idea and you're thinking about, should I place this trade? There are rules that we generally have in place to help you evaluate whether this is a trade that you should place or not, whether that's the max risk of the trade, whether you're looking at volatility, whether you're looking at whether there's earnings coming up, different rules that we have put in place to help you evaluate each idea. We had put together actually 7. So this slide, even though we put this together just a few days ago, is actually already slightly old. We're constantly working on improving this. So there's actually 7 common rules that we are looking at, including position sizing, for each trade idea. And I'll show you how to use that. But it basically helps you score every trade idea that you have out of 7, so that you can kind of get a sense for whether you are getting a good, whether how many of the 7 rules you are looking at that matches with the trade idea that you're looking for. The second thing we focused on is position monitoring. This is something that I think a lot of traders struggle with. Once you're in a position, how do you decide whether it's time to close out a trade, whether it's time to take profits, whether it's time it's cut losses? We have over the years taught you fairly black and white, clear clear rules with regards to when it is time to potentially take profits, cut losses, and just generally speaking, manage your positions, whether that's something as simple as a covered call or something as complex as an iron condor. Now, for those of you that trade a specific strategy very often, you might have memorized some of these rules, and maybe it's you at this point you might have applied these rules. However, not only do the rule applications require you to monitor the positions actively, but it also requires you to memorize these rules and apply them consistently. And that is really where I think a lot of traders fall short, right? There's a lot of steps that's required before you get to a point where you're ready to apply the rules as is. So our new ChatGPT assistant basically can look at your portfolio and help you determine if and when any of your positions require monitoring. And lastly, chart review. Generally speaking, chart technical analysis is probably one of the areas that I see in my 17 years of doing this, where traders tend to be most inconsistent with their applications of technical analysis. And this is really where confirmation bias is probably most commonly, where I see it most common, where instead of using technical analysis as a way to objectively view the direction of a chart, we tend to just use indicators to confirm what we originally are thinking anyway. So whether we're bullish or bearish on a stock, we might just simply keep looking for new indicators until we find one that matches our bias, rather than simply using the technical indicators to help us determine whether the indicators agree with our directional view. So these are the three areas of focus that our current version of our custom Ask OptionsPlay GPT will help you become a more disciplined and objective viewer of ideas, positions, and just generally speaking, the research that you're doing on your trading. Okay, so within trade ideas, what we're doing is predominantly helping you avoid overtrading and evaluating your trades against 7 common trading rules. This is generally speaking to avoid trading size that is outside of your risk tolerance, and make sure that the trades that you're trading align with things like market trends, volatility, statistics, like liquidity, daily price movement, earnings check, IV rank. These are the types of things that we are checking for. Now, you don't have to have a score of 7 every single time you place a trade, but you should at least be aware of, out of a checklist of 7 things, how many of them have you checked off, right? And generally speaking, you want to have a more consistent review of every single trade before you place a trade, so that you can have a more consistent result with your trading, right? And then at least you can perhaps look back sometimes. And the great thing about ChatGPT is that your check history is always available. So after you close out a trade, maybe you could always go back and say, hey, when I entered this trade, what was the score? Was it a 6? Was it a 3? And you can kind of go back, and over time, you'll be able to see, hey, every single time I placed a trade when there was 6 or 7, fewer things went wrong than when I took trades when only 1 or 2 things were aligned with my trade, right? Those are the types of things that you'll be able to get out of it. So this is something that will evolve over time. It's less so of a hard and fast rule, but more of a mindful discipline that you're building with every single trade, so that going forward, you always have something to look back on and say, hey, this is something I'm consistently doing wrong, or this is something I'm consistently seemingly breaking this rule, and it seems to not work out for me in the long run. And that's how you can start making corrections to your behavior and start making better trading decisions. So avoiding emotional biases in your trading with an objective score out of 7 is our primary goal with trade ideas. Okay. The second thing we want to look at here are your open positions. Managing your positions with confidence and real-time analysis of your current positions. So what we're able to do here is give you a summary of your positions with alerts on if there's time to take profits, cut losses based on best practices. So what we have done is basically you have taken the best practices that we have taught you over the years for each individual strategy, and we have coded it into this custom version of ChatGPT. So For example, when we have taught you, the different rules for credit spreads, when to take profits, when to cut losses, we have coded those custom rules into this custom version of ChatGPT. So if you have a credit spread position and you're up 60% in that particular trade, or down 100%, or you're more than 21 days or closer than 21 days to expiration, either one of those three things are triggered, we would give you an alert to tell you whether it is time to take profits or cut losses. So it'll give you things like what action to take. And it provides you with an objective view on what to do based on a rules-based approach. And again, this is something that you can, over time, as you kind of make multiple trades, go back on trades, whether you made money or lost money on a specific trade, go back and look at, did I follow the rules? And on the rules that I followed the trades on, or on the trades that I followed the rules on, did I have a more consistent approach than the one that I broke those rules? And that's really how you're going to be able to remove your emotions from deciding what actions to take. Because I know what it feels like when you open up your trading accounts in the morning and you see 5, 6, 10 positions, and you're wondering to yourself, which one of these do I want to manage today? Especially when you're in a position where sometimes a trade is perhaps not going in the direction you expected to, and you're trying to figure out, do I want to cut losses today, or should I hold on to it for a day longer? These types of trading decisions take up a lot of mental energy. So what we're trying to do is help you remove some of that mental arithmetic and calculus of determining what should I do with each position, and kind of help make that decision for you based on a rules-based approach. And initially you might not do things exactly the way that the rules are built. But over time, as you build more discipline of using AI assistants like this, you are going to find that when you apply the rules, you're going to have a more consistent result. And that is kind of the positive feedback loop that will kind of, to some degree, help you bring back that discipline and bring discipline to your trading, because you're going to see more consistent results when you do follow the rules. Okay. And lastly, technical analysis. So like I said, this is really where I see traders make the most mistake is not the right word, but this is where I see traders kind of deviate from kind of what is their overall trading plan or their trading strategy. They have one set of indicators that they like to use, and they hear from on the news, or they have some other subscription service that gives them a trade idea, and what they do is they look at the chart, and if the indicators that they have don't necessarily agree with their views, what they'll do is they'll maybe sometimes look at, okay, instead of using the 50-day moving average, what if I look at the 200-day moving average? And they'll just keep kind of changing indicators until they find an indicator that ultimately agrees with the initial view that they had, as opposed to listening to a consistent set of indicators. So from our perspective, we don't want to look at any specific indicator, because indicators by themselves are lagging in nature. The most important thing we look at is price action. What does price action tell us? Trying to get an objective view from price action with only major support and resistance levels, horizontal support and resistance levels, is the first step. Is the stock trending higher? Is it trending lower? Is it consolidating sideways? What is it doing? That is always going to be the first and foremost, and that's going to form your primary directional view. And anything else on your screen, whether that's an indicator or an overlay like a moving average, those are only going to be used as confirmation. So if you have a directional view from price action, we try to see if the indicators kind of agree with that overall view and can confirm that view, and then provide a simply summary and conclusion, a clear view based on kind of price action and momentum for the direction. So we'll basically break down a specific chart and into the primary components, the price action analysis, and the momentum confirmation. That's going to help you, give you that conclusive view, that objective view on an individual chart, so that you're not adding confirmation bias into your trading strategy, which, like I said, is probably one of the most common, I'll use the word mistake, even though I don't think it's the best word to describe it, of technical analysis, just because there are infinite number of parameters and infinite number of indicators and parameters of those indicators. It's extremely difficult to stick to just one indicator, and many times have that indicator conflict with your own internal views of a security. It's very uncomfortable, but that's really what we're hoping to help you do, is to kind of remove that emotional element of that decision and just give you a clear laid out reason as to why you want to, or a clear directional view of an underlying security. Okay, so up until now, I've kind of gone through a lot of things. Let's go through some more uh, whys, right? Why is all of this important, right? So we've kind of gone through the different tools, what it focuses on, what can it do for you. Why is this so important? Why have we spent so much time building this custom version of ChatGPT? And first and foremost, the most important thing is to help you avoid confirmation bias, one of the biggest obstacles to successful trading, where we simply don't follow the rules. We simply do what we want to do because, that's just us as humans. That's what we do. It's a fact of human nature. It's hard to avoid, and it's one of the things that I think most traders struggle with. And the second thing is helping you stay disciplined by having an external system verify your trading decisions. One of the challenges of trading is that it's extremely lonely. You are sitting there by yourself in front of a computer, and you don't really have someone to talk to and vet things through and kind of walk things through, and have someone who's objective in their views be able to give you answers, right? You could go ask a friend, you could go ask maybe someone that you maybe invest with, so maybe some of you belong to investment clubs, but those are also human beings, and they're also likely to simply be swayed perhaps by something that you're saying. So if you have a specific view on a stock, and you try to convince your friend of that, even if they might not agree, they might just simply say, you know what, I think you're right, as opposed to giving you that objective view. So that's one of the things that AI won't do, right? The rules, AI will tell you what as is based on those rules and won't bend because you're being nice to them. So staying disciplined by having that external system that's objective is really kind of the goal here, and help you keep to your trading plan in line with a structured, repeatable trading plan. Because if you look at successful trading, it's all about, if you look at profitable traders, you look at successful traders, what differentiates successful traders from everyone else is not what indicators they use, is not what trading strategy they use. It's their ability to stick to their trading plan and deal with their emotions as they deal with stress, or put under stress by the market, whether that's market volatility, whether that's losses in their portfolio. Successful traders are the ones that are able to overcome all of that and simply stick to their trading plan, because it's easy to create a trading plan, but it's damn hard to stick to it. We're human, we make irrational decisions, we're placed under stress. And my role here, with this chat GPT assistant, is to in some way, shape, or form, help you have a tool that you can use to avoid that and remove yourself from that emotional decision every single time you're either placing a trade or deciding whether it's time to exit that trade. Okay, so how does this work? That's not the latest version of what I wanted to show you. Give me 1 second. I just want to make sure I'm giving you guys the latest version. Let me see. Let me update this. I apologize. So I already saw a couple of questions on this. So let me just make this. Why is this not updating? Just give me 1 second. Let me make sure that this is working correctly. That's so weird. Okay. Anyway, let's go with it. So first of all, I already saw a question asking us, is this something that we have to pay extra for? And the answer is no. Oh, there we go. So I don't know why it just updated now. This is available for free to everyone by either going to the link trade.optionsplay.com/askop, or you can simply search for Ask Options Play in the ChatGPT store. I'll show you how to do that here, or you can just click on this, point your phone to that QR code on the screen. Any of these three methods will get you to the Ask Options Play trading assistant within the ChatGPT store. Now, right now, you can only access this through ChatGPT. We are working on bringing this directly into the Options Play platform so that you can actually interact with this trading assistant directly onto your Options Play platform. So like I said, this is something that we've worked on in the past a couple of months. We've put a lot of work into building this trading assistant, but our long-term goal is to, number one, make this assistant more robust. It'll allow you to actually explore strategies and actually have it build option strategies on your behalf. And more importantly, have it all available to you directly within the Options Play platform. But for now, version 1, something is completely free of charge, available to you in the ChatGPT store. You can access it, like I said, either through this link here on your screen, pointing your phone to that QR code, or simply searching for Ask Options Play in the ChatGPT store. And how this is going to work is once you go to that link, what you're going to be able to do is upload a screenshot of your Options Play trade, Options Play portfolio, or an Options Play chart. And what this will be able to do is extract all the data from the screenshots itself. That's all you need, just a screenshot. It'll extract all the trading information. It'll extract the technical analysis. It'll extract the portfolio data from that screenshot, and it'll give you immediate feedback on those things. No manual data entry, no prompts that you have to build, just simple and fast responses to everything that you are looking for. Okay, so I think the best thing to do is just show you how this works. What we are going to do is we're going to go to, I've already went to the Ask Options Play GPT in the ChatGPT store, and as you can see, it'll give you a few different prompts that you can use already. That's already pre-built for you, so you can basically use them as copy. But I just want to show you kind of some of the setups that we already have, right? So the first thing let's look at some trades. Okay, let me just pull up some screenshots that I already have done previously this morning, just so that we can have this easily done. I just want to make sure I'm using the right one. Whoops. So what you can do is you can basically, here, let's just do this. Let's just do this live, right? Let's say I'm looking at Verizon, for example. Now, we just published Verizon as a trade idea in our loft report yesterday. We are now sending out, like I said, equity-only technical and fundamental research so that you have more ideas to look at. And let's say I'm looking at selling a credit spread on Verizon Communications, right? So let's say this is a trade that I'm thinking about potentially placing on Verizon. We basically put out a bullish note here on Verizon. Maybe you want to look at selling a bull put spread on Verizon. So what you can do is you can basically take a screenshot of the trade idea that you're looking at. So here what I'm doing is I'm just basically taking a screenshot of the middle and right-hand panel. And what I'm going to do is I'm just simply going to upload this into ChatGPT. And what I'm just going to say is simply, what do you think about this trade? It's as simple as that. No more prompts of all these different rules. And previously, I gave you a prompt that had 7 rules in it. You had to customize those prompts. You had to copy and paste those prompts. It was very clunky to do. It gave you the end result, but it was clunky. And the only problem also with the previous version of what we gave you is that it didn't customize the output. So not only did we customize the rules so that all you have to write is simply, what do you think about this trade? but we also make sure that the output that you got was more consistent. So we had more control over what the output looked like, what things that it was going to talk to you about. So as you can see, what it does is it analyzes the put vertical spread that you were looking at Verizon Communications. And what it looks at is it looks at the 2% rule, meaning how much is it risking for your trade. So it'll tell you if your portfolio is larger than $7,050, this trade fits within your 2% guideline. So if you have a portfolio value that's less than $7,000, this is telling you maybe this is a trade that might be exceeding your overall rules. Sentiment and trade, it'll look at the sentiment of the chart to give you a sense for if you're generally aligning with the sentiment of the trade. It'll look at IV rank, whether or not this is a trade that's favorable for buying or selling. It looks at the OptionsPlay score, liquidity, and whether or not the stock is gapped up for the day. And it'll tell you whether or not there is whether you're kind of chasing a trade or not. And generally, you want to avoid, if a stock is up 10% on the day, trying to avoid chasing those stocks, or at least being aware that you are chasing that stock. So this is something that we are looking at all of these different criteria to help you make that trading decision. So it gives you kind of a summary of your trades, whether you're aligning with the trend, whether you are favorable for buying or selling options, liquidity, OptionsPlay score, and earnings date, kind of looking at everything overall to give you a clear sense for how the trade is stacking up against the rules that we typically, or the criteria that we typically score each trade on, so that you have a much more conscious decision when you're making a trade, whether or not you're aligning with the majority of the rules, or if you're breaking any of these rules. These are the things that we have done to help you better understand. You can also tell it your portfolio size so that it can kind of help you better understand how many contracts you can trade. So this is something that has been built directly into the GPT. All you have to do is simply ask, what do you think about this trade? Any trade setup that you're looking at. So let's say maybe you're looking at Apple. And let's say you want to take a bearish trade on Apple. You can simply take a look at this. Maybe you're saying, okay, let me look at the bearish trade. Maybe I want to buy this put spread. You can basically take a screenshot of this put spread and ask ChatGPT, what do you think about this trade? And they'll basically look at that trade based on your new trade idea. So I can say, what do you think about this trade? And I'll basically now look at this trade against those same 6 rules again and give you a summary of that overall trade. So like I said, you don't have to code any of this anymore. You can just simply take a screenshot of any trade you're looking at in OptionsPlay, and it's going to look at these rules to help you make that trading decision. So telling you kind of what portfolio size you need to get into this trade, which one of these things you are aligning to with regards to liquidity, sentiment, whether you're buying or selling, the OptionsPlay score, an earnings date. So in this particular case, there is an earnings coming up between now and expiration. So it's giving you kind of a clear understanding of whether or not you are potentially trading when there's earnings coming up or not. So earnings coming up is not necessarily a good or a bad thing, but something that I think some investors sometimes forget about looking at as to whether or not there's earnings coming up or not. So like I said, I'm trying to make this as easy as possible so that no matter what trade you're looking at within OptionsPlay, giving you a tool that you can use to kind of evaluate a trade, run a trade by a set of trading rules, and be able to quickly evaluate that and make a trading decision on a much more objective basis, rather than just simply saying, hey, I feel good about this trade or I don't feel good about this trade. Can you do this stuff manually? Absolutely. There's nothing that you couldn't do this manually, but this just makes it a lot easier because all you have to do is simply say, what do you think? And it runs it through all of your rules. Okay. That I think is really an incredible use of the tool. More importantly, I think that the portfolio is something that people struggle with a lot as well. Meaning, when you're looking at a portfolio, and we'll just pull up our daily play portfolio for for a second to look at. And let's take a look at the daily play portfolio and say, okay, based on this portfolio, what should we do? So what we can do here again is also we can take a screenshot of our portfolio. I'm going to do that right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to upload it into our custom AI bot. And we'll basically say, what do you think about these positions? So a simple prompt, and it will basically evaluate the positions across the rules that we have. It'll look at each individual position. It'll kind of summarize the positions for you, meaning how much, what the position is, how much it's up or down by, how many days left to expiration, what the rules are for it. So not only is it telling you what to do, it's kind of walking you through the thought process, which is an incredibly important part of not only building discipline, but learning how to be more disciplined in your trading. As you can see on each one, it'll give you kind of a recommendation, what you should do, right? So this is the first one's telling you it's approaching 21 days to expiration. You should manage this by closing or trading it. So we're kind of coming up on time to manage this. The Clorox one, hold it for now. Keep an eye on this. The fact that it's up 28%, if it approaches 50%, considering starting to take profits on that. PayPal, it's telling you to close this position to lock in your gains on this particular trade because we've reached our take profit level. Shopify, hold this for now, but prepare to manage this as it gets closer to the first leg of expiration. And then ExxonMobil, close out this trade to start locking in some profits. So giving you a very clear summation of kind of all of your trades and which ones you need to take profits on, which ones you need to hold. So out of these, there's a couple of them that's telling me to close. One of them is telling me to start managing that. And basically, I don't have to sit through and go through all of my positions and spend time thinking about, okay, for this type of position, what are the rules? Whether it's time-based rule, whether it's take profit or stop loss, not only do I now have to remember it, it basically applies all the rules and then reminds me of what the rules are so I can clearly understand the thought process behind why I might have to take profits, cut losses, or manage a position, or simply let it hold. This kind of removes a lot of that mental energy that's required to go through your positions every single day. And honestly, when you have multiple losing positions, I know that it takes more mental energy to go through your positions and kind of evaluate it and think through whether it's whether you need to do something or not, or stuff that's kind of profitable, maybe slightly profitable, and you're trying to decide, should I hold on to it? Should I close it? And you're trying to do that mental math. It takes a lot of mental energy to do this every single day. And when it takes a lot of mental energy, that's when we as human beings tend to either be lazy or avoid making kind of sometimes difficult decisions. And this tool is designed to help you avoid that. It helps make the decisions on your behalf so that you don't have to spend the mental energy looking through each position. Maybe you have 3-4 losing positions, and it's difficult for you to kind of go through each one and try to decide which ones you want to close today, which ones you need to manage. This will do all of that for you and just give you that list of rules. And every single day, you're going to get a consistent output of these rules, right? So every single day, it's going to show you exactly how much you're up or down by, how many days to expiration, what the rules are for managing, and what the recommendation is. So no matter what your portfolio looks like, no matter what strategies you're looking at, no matter what symbols you're looking at, you're going to get a consistent review from this Ask OptionsPlay chatbot that's going to be able to help you make those trading decisions in a much more objective perspective and just give you the output that you're really looking for. You might find it difficult to follow these rules initially, but over time, as you build the discipline of looking at these trades through this objective lens every single day, you're going to start being a lot more comfortable with the rules, because it's not just telling you what to do, it's explaining to you why. And you can validate it against the rules that you've been taught, and make sure that you understand those rules before you go ahead and just go and follow these rules. Okay. And lastly, let's look at some charts together. Let's go back to our Verizon example here, right? Let's look at the Verizon chart. Maybe you're looking at this chart. We recently published a bullish thesis here on Verizon. Maybe you want some validation on that. Maybe you came up with this trade yourself. Regardless of what it is, you can just take a screenshot of your chart, and basically you can say, very simply, what do you think of this chart? So essentially, what do you think about this trade? What do you think about these positions? And what do you think about this chart? Those are the only 3 prompts that you really need to have to utilize this to get the full power of this custom version of ChatGPT that we have built. Like I said, no more prompt engineering, no more copy and pasting prompts that we have written for you. We're trying to make it as easy as possible. So as you can see, it'll give you a summation of the price action. It'll give you the fact that the stock is in a clear uptrend, currently near the $45 resistance level, which it seems to be testing and breaking out above. And prior to that, the stock had a period of sideways consolidation, but has broken up to the upside and has been rallying since, right? So if you're new to technical analysis and you're just learning how to read a chart, this is incredibly powerful in helping you give that objective view of saying, hey, are you looking at the chart in the right way and from an objective perspective? This will give you that view. Then it will look at the momentum indicators to say, is this kind of agreeing with that overall bullish trend? So telling you that there's positive momentum. However, the momentum indicator seems to be flattening out. There are no signs of overbought conditions, so the stock can continue its upward movement. So in summary, the stock is in a strong upward trend and momentum is still positive. So kind of giving you that confirmation. So the stock is displaying bullish characteristics. And if the price breaks out above 45, it could continue higher. So giving you that very objective view on whether a stock is bullish, bearish. And let's look at another one. I'll look at another trade that we published the other day, AbbVie. We took a bearish stance here on AbbVie, so I want to take a look at this particular chart and see what it says. What do you think of this chart? We'll upload the AbbVie trade. And like I said, this ChatGPT assistant will pull all the data from the chart and be able to analyze it for you. You don't have to do anything else other than take a screenshot from OptionsPlay, and it will be able to give you all of that, that analysis. So we basically took out a bearish thesis here on AbbVie. Now, there was fundamental thesis behind this as well. Obviously, when you're just putting in a chart, it's not looking at the fundamentals, but it kind of gives you an idea that it's been in a strong uptrend from mid-June to mid-August, right? That's kind of from here to here. And I'll tell you that, but recently it's been in a consolidation phase. That's like kind of the most important part, and showing you that it's testing around 191, that support level, and a break below could signal further downside. That was kind of what we flagged in our research, that it's consolidating, the relative performance is poor, and we think it's going to break lower. And that's exactly, I did nothing other than prompt it and say, what do you think of this chart? And it gave me an objective viewing that kind of to some degree agreed with our directional view on that chart, right? The momentum indicator is showing signs of flattening. It is neither strongly bullish or bearish. It does not suggest any significant signals at the moment. So this is basically telling you the stock is in a strong uptrend, but now in a consolidation phase, and potentially it could break lower here. It's telling you that it hasn't broken yet, which is true. And that's kind of the objective view of this particular chart, right? It hasn't broken yet. We're taking a view that this is likely going to break to the downside because of fundamental reasons, but it gives you that objective view that this is not a bearish stock yet. It has the potential to be a bearish stock, but it's not there yet. And that's, I think, it's incredibly important, because when you get a research piece, whether it's from us, whether it's from someone else, whether it's from TV or news that you read, you will many times be swayed by that piece, right? And even if the charts don't tell you objectively the same thing, many times what we will do as human beings, we will basically bring our own confirmation bias into reading a chart based on a research piece that someone else wrote. So this allows you to kind of remove that confirmation bias that you might have from a research piece that you wrote, that you read, or a news article that you read, or anything like that. And basically remove that and just give you the objective view. And you might say from that, you know what, I'm not ready to pull the trigger on this because it's not bearish enough for me. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for the breakdown below 190 before I get into this trade. And that is also how you become a more disciplined trader, by being more objective in your views. And that's the goal of Ask Options Play. Okay. So again, I see quite a few questions asking people, how do I access this? So like I said, 3 ways. You can either just click on this link directly, trade.optionsplay.com /ask OP. I'll post this link into the chat window real quick. You can point your phone to that QR code, which will take you to that same link, or you can simply search for Ask Options Play in the ChatGPT store. So when you go to ChatGPT, you'll see, or rather, when you open up a new ChatGPT, you can select which model you want to use. And then you can also go to what's called Explore GPTs, right? That's the GPT store. And you can simply search for Ask Options Play. When you search for Ask Options Play, you'll see it. You click on it, and that will basically bring up a Ask Options Play window. And you can simply click on Start Chat, and it'll bring you into this Ask Options Play chat, and you can basically start asking it. And as you can see, we've already prompted you a few different starting points, so you can use this as kind of your starting point. But like I said, it's just simple. You just simply say, what do you think about this trade? What do you think about this this portfolio? What do you think about this chart? It does all of that for you. Okay, so talking a little bit about this AI assistant, the Options Play platform will provide you with all of the necessary data that this AI assistant needs to make to do its work, right? So we have coded it specifically for Options Play, meaning all of the data that's required to power this this tool is provided to you by Options Play. And what we suggest that you do is to repeatly build habits and discipline with your trading by using this daily. So when you're thinking about placing a new trade, when you're analyzing your portfolio every single day, when you're analyzing new research ideas and you're exploring a technical chart, use this tool on a daily basis. Because the more you use it on a daily basis, the better habits you're going to build around becoming a more disciplined trader. It's going to help you avoid making emotional trades, especially during volatile markets. So make it part of your daily trading routine. We're trying to make this as easy as possible for you to be able to have a knowledgeable assistant that you can effectively talk to and reason with, and you can ask it further questions, right? So you don't have to just end at the summary and take it as is. You can ask it if you want it to kind of give you a summary of the rules, right? You're looking at a trade idea and you're trying to understand a specific rule, for example, IV rank, and you want to understand it more. You can just simply ask it follow-up questions, right? You can say, if it says like, IV rank is, it's telling you that perhaps it's better to be selling options rather than buying options. Just simply ask the assistant, why, to walk me through that thought process. And it's going to be able to help you understand these rules. So it doesn't just spit out rules. You can speak to it like as if you were talking to me. Think about having access to me at any time that you can just chat with. Now, obviously, there are some limitations to that, but it is built on a lot of the knowledge. I have transferred a lot of my knowledge that I have taught you into this trading assistant so that you can basically have access to the same rules that we've been teaching you over the past few years already directly applied into it. So you can also ask it more follow-up questions, and it's going to be able to help you answer some of those follow-up questions. And we're going to also continuously improve upon this. So the more the more feedback you guys give to us, the more usage that you guys get out of this, the more we'll continue to invest and build out more of this trading assistant so that you can benefit from it. Like I said, right now these are the only three things that the trading assistant is designed for, but we have we have bigger plans for this trading assistant. Soon you'll be able to simply ask questions like, what are the trade ideas for today? And I'll give you our trade ideas directly in this trading assistant. You can ask it to help you structure an options trade. You can even customize and say, I like to sell 7-day credit spreads. Help me design a trading strategy off of those preferences. And it's going to be able to do all of that for you. So really powerful stuff coming down the line. This is really just the tip of the iceberg. This is just the very beginning. And so please, as you're using it, as you have feedback, please let us know what you think, and we'll be able to continuously build upon that in the future versions of this ChatGPT. So, like I said, this is really kind of your companion app to OptionsPlay. So if you don't have OptionsPlay, you can sign up for your free 30-day trial at optionsplay.com/signup. It'll give you access to the tools that I showed you today that you can take screenshots out of to put into this trading assistant. It's free of charge for 30 days. You can test it out before you choose to subscribe. The trading assistant itself is completely free of charge. Anyone with ChatGPT, you can sign up for a free account on chatgpt.com, will have access to this trading assistant. So the trading assistant is free of charge, available to everyone. And long-term, our goal is to actually bring the assistant into the platform itself so that you don't have to go to ChatGPT to access it. You can actually access it directly from the OptionsPlay platform. That's coming in future versions. We are already starting to work on that already. So we're testing some of the early versions of that, in as few as a couple of weeks now. So we are very excited about kind of what this future brings. We have been, very excited about AI and the use of ChatGPT over the past year or so. And this is really kind of our first step in bringing this in a much more real way to viewers here at OptionsPlay. So I'm really excited about that. So with that, let's open this up for Q&A. So there's a Q&A window and a chat window. If you can please type your questions into the Q&A window at the bottom of your screen, I'll try to answer questions there. I see a lot of questions already. I'll try to answer as many questions as I have as I possibly can. All right, so Nasir is asking, does this allow me to ask any equity by providing charts? Yeah, you can provide any charts on any equity, stocks, ETFs. You can even try providing charts from other charting packages. I can't guarantee you're going to get the same results, because it was built for OptionsPlay, but you can try other charts as well. It's going to try to provide you with that objective view. As far as fundamentals goes, this currently does not have access to fundamentals data. But like I said, we are working on doing that. We're working on making sure that technical data, fundamental data, options data is all accessible from this platform so that it's able to actually pull some of that information and help you make decisions based on kind of real data as well. So fundamental data, technical data, options pricing data, that is coming in future versions. That's not available in this current version today. Is the new assistant available on the Canadian OptionsPlay platform? So the assistant is available on ChatGPT, right? So it doesn't matter what version of OptionsPlay you're using, whether you're using US or Canada, you can use it for both US and Canada. So if you're in Canada and using the Canadian version of OptionsPlay, you can have this do the exact same thing for you for your Canadian trading. There's no extra charge for this. This is completely free of charge. Anyone with ChatGPT can access it. You obviously need an OptionsPlay subscription to access the OptionsPlay platform, but the AI assistant is free of charge. Can you use the analysis of ideas for stocks rather than options? Yeah, absolutely. So if you just have a stock idea, you can. The options pieces obviously won't be useful. I would say you would simply use it for technical analysis if you're just looking for equity analysis. Will your platform be able to import my existing positions from my Schwab account? You're going to have to input them manually for now, but we are looking to build that connection to Schwab next, the same connection that we have with TradeStation. And in that version, we would be able to pull your positions into portfolio. But right now, you have to enter your positions manually into OptionsPlay. There's someone asking about Claude and Gemini. As we kind of build this out for ChatGPT, we are exploring other, I would say, large uh, or commonly used LLM models like Claude. Any ones that do support agents like this. So we are looking into that, but right now we're only supporting it for OpenAI through ChatGPT. Which indicators are used in this chart analysis example? It'll use the indicator that you have on your screen. So whatever indicator you prefer, it will analyze it based on your preferred indicator. So it's not prescribing which indicators to use, it's taking your inputs from that. Can you do an example of an iron condor on Tesla? Sure, let's do that just for fun. Iron condor. Let's make this. Look at this. What do you think about this trade? And we'll upload this Tesla iron condor to it. So it's telling me that I need $38,000 in my portfolio to place this trade. So that's the first rule, first hard and fast rule that you should not change. If you have less than $38,000 on you, you probably shouldn't be trading this iron condor because you're exceeding the 2% rule. And again, if you don't understand why, you can ask it. Why do I need $38,000 in order to sell this iron condor? And it'll help you explain that rule to you. So this is far more powerful than what I'm just showing you. I'm kind of really just scratching the surface here. It's telling you that both 1 month and 6 month trend is bullish. The IV rank is 90, which is quite high, and this is good for selling an iron condor. The OptionsPlay score of 91 is good. Liquidity is very good. The stock hasn't moved more than 5% on the day, which is good. And I'll tell you that there is an earnings between now and expiration. So those are some of the things to be aware of in terms of the trade. So overall, this looks like a pretty good trade. It certainly meets most of the criteria, provided that you have at least $38,000 in your trading account. Okay. So trying to make this as easy as possible for you to make kind of these trading decisions. Let's see what's next. Will it assist in determining gain or loss at year end for tax purposes? No, that's not what this is designed for. Not yet. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about strategy testing and analysis with artificial intelligence. How do you do it technically? So I actually just recorded a video on this just I think maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. So if you go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/optionsplay, I recorded a video on how to use ChatGPT to build a profitable trading strategy. I think that's probably going to be the most relevant session for you. We've actually probably the last 2 sessions that we've done on ChatGPT probably most relevant to that specific question. I often find that when a security is marked very liquid, the expiration month or specific strikes of insufficient volume or open interest. Lawrence, volume and open interest is a poor indicator of liquidity. It really means nothing because options get listed all the time, and when something gets listed brand new, it just has very low interest or low open interest or volume. It has no indication on whether something's liquid or not. So don't use volume and interest to gauge liquidity. Use the liquidity indicator to gauge liquidity. You'll find that when something's deemed very liquid on our platform and you place an order basically at the midpoint or within a couple of pennies of the midpoint, you'll likely get a fill almost instantly. And that's really the only thing that you need to think about. Great question here is saying, how do we enter our portfolio? So let's say you enter this specific Tesla iron condor on the trade. So when you click on the trade button, you have an easy way to add positions to your portfolio. So you can create different portfolios. Let's say you have, one for your Schwab portfolio, one for your Tasty Trade portfolio. You can create, new portfolios very easily by just clicking on this add button. And then once you've created a portfolio, you can simply just add a position. Now, let's say you executed this trade for something different than $7.30. Let's say you executed this trade for $7.40 or $7.50, right? Then you can basically type in the premiums that you actually received. Say I have added to my paper trading portfolio, add the position, and now you will have this position in OptionsPlay portfolio, right? So that's the easiest way to enter your positions. If you just make it a habit that when you execute a trade, you just simply when you're analyzing an OptionsPlay, you just simply click on trade, add that trade to your portfolio. And every single time you add it, you'll find it in your portfolio so that you basically have a portfolio at all times with your open positions. So, like I said, that's the easiest way, in my opinion, to look at these specific trades. On the laptop, where do I get Ask OptionsPlay? Are we using actual ChatGPT? Yeah, you go to actual ChatGPT. Well, like I said, there are 3 ways that you can access it, right? You can either just click on the link directly, which will take you to the ChatGPT store with Ask OptionsPlay. That's probably the easiest one. Pointing your phone to the QR code is another easy one. Or you can search for Ask OptionsPlay in the ChatGPT store. So yeah, you go to ChatGPT to find it. What is the address? The one you gave us doesn't work. Pretty sure it does. Yeah, it does. Trade.optionsplay.com/ask-optionsplay. So trade.optionsplay.com/OP. Make sure you have the trade.optionsplay, but the link definitely works. I just want to say that the platform you've created, OptionsPlay, is truly amazing. Functionally, it really fascinates me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Does Ask OP do technical analysis if I paste and copy a chart of a certain security? Yes, that's exactly what it does. And it tries to provide you with an objective view on that chart. If you want to trade covered calls, and this provides you with a list of stocks to trade for covered calls, same for the list. So Chuck, no, that's not what this version does. But like I said, in the future versions, that's exactly what we plan on adding is, the ability to screen for securities for a specific strategy. So basically allowing you to interface with OptionsPlay in a much more natural language process is something that we are working on right now. Will OptionsPlay address the same powerful tool set by focusing on fundamental analysis? We are going to be able to bring in some level of fundamental analysis to this AI trading assistant. As far as how much technical fundamental analysis we'll be able to bring, that's something that we're still working on. But yes, that is one of the next steps that we're trying to do is bring in, option screening capabilities, technical screening capabilities, fundamental analysis, and the kind of live data into this tool. I logged in late. Is there a replay that I can view? Yes. So if you have access to OptionsPlay, optionsplay.com/sign up. If you already have a free trial, if you already have a membership, you're going to get a replay when we post it this weekend. You're going to get the slides, you're going to get the replay that you can follow along and kind of do it and follow along your own pace. Are you planning something similar for just plain stock purchase and sales? So we currently publish equity research twice a week. Right now, we're doing it Mondays and Wednesdays. I'd love to hear your feedback, guys, on it. Whether you guys like that or not. Equity only research that you can decide whether you want to trade options on it or not. But they're kind of gives you that technical and fundamental view of various stocks. We just published one on Wednesday yesterday morning with 6 ideas in it. So would love to kind of get your take on what you guys think. If you guys like that, if you like more of it, we'll continue to add more of that content into Options Play. That's kind of security related, not just Options Play. What if portfolio doesn't fit in one screenshot? So Timo, you will have to make multiple screenshots in that particular case. In future versions, we'll see what we can do to try to capture that data in one single screenshot or one single swoop. But right now in version 1, if it doesn't fit on one screenshot, you're going to have to take more than one screenshot. Can I use ChatGPT to compare a set of symbols? You absolutely can. I haven't necessarily built it specifically for that, but you absolutely can. That's the great thing about this trading assistant, right? It's not limited to just what we trained it to do. You still have the full force of ChatGPT behind it, right? So you can ask it to help you with a lot of different things. Virtually anything you can ask it to help you with. So it just happens. It just has all of our data included on top of that. So all of the rules that we teach you with regards to when to manage a trade, how to analyze a trade idea, it just has that in addition to the full power of ChatGPT. So you still have the full power of ChatGPT within Ask Options Pro. So if you want to just ask it to do general ChatGPT things, you're going to be able to do it within Ask Options Play as well. It just has the added layer of all of our data included in there. What tool are you using to take a picture? So, I mean, I'm on a Mac, so that's natively built into Mac. The screenshot tool. If you're using Windows, there's a snippet tool within Windows that's native to Windows applications. So you can basically use either one. And it basically takes a screenshot, and you can take that screenshot and apply it. And in the Mac version of ChatGPT as well, I can simply say, what do you think this portfolio? And in the Mac version, you can even just say, take a screenshot of my options play portfolio. And I actually don't have to take a screenshot. It actually does it for me. And it just uploads it as well. I'm not sure if, not sure what happened there. Let's go back. Options play. So, you can basically upload a screenshot, just a single click. You actually don't have to save a file, upload the file. What do you think of this portfolio? And with Mac, it can do that automatically. So if you have the ChatGPT app, the app itself can take the screenshot for you. You don't actually have to take the screenshot, which makes it even easier. Sorry, guys. I think I got kicked out of that webinar. It doesn't happen very often. But let's just go back to where we were. Um, I seem to have lost all of the Q&A questions, unfortunately. Um, anyway, what I was saying is that the Mac application makes it really easy because you can basically take a screenshot. You can tell it which window you have open, and it'll basically automatically take the screenshot for you. You actually don't even have to take a screenshot and then upload the file again. So that's all available to you within the Mac version of ChatGPT. There's a question about, signing up for OptionsPlay. If you're having issues with signing up for OptionsPlay, you can reach out to us at info@optionsplay.com. Make sure you're reaching us there, and it'll be able to do that. The free version of ChatGPT is apparently a limited number of uploads. I was able to follow you, but I'm now getting a can't upload message. Is this correct? Yes, the free version of ChatGPT does have limitations on the number of messages you can send in a certain amount of time. I will say that for most users, I tend to find that $20 a month is a small price to pay for the power of what you get out of ChatGPT, just because the usage of ChatGPT is far more than what I'm showing you here today. So I do encourage for those of you that are using this actively on a daily basis, to consider signing up for the paid version of ChatGPT. All right. Can we request a bit best stock canvas to sell cover calls on? Like I said, in this version, that is not included. This version is limited to what I've shown you here today, but that is something that we are working on immediately right now is all of the trade ideas, all of the screening capabilities that we have within our OptionsPlay for you to be able to access that through natural language using this Ask OptionsPlay trading assistant. So everything from the daily trade ideas that we publish to the cover calls and credit spread screening capabilities that we offer. We are going to be able to allow you to interface with all of that directly in this chat GPT GPT that we have created. Okay, with that covers what I have time for here today. I can't believe it's been nearly over almost an hour and a half. But really exciting stuff. Like I said, this is really just the tip of the iceberg. There is a lot more power to ChatGPT than what we have shown you here today. But this is our version 1 that we wanted to share with you. We want to get this out there so that you guys can start playing around with it, start seeing it, start getting used to if for those of you that may not use ChatGPT on a daily basis, on a regular basis, start getting used to the power of what AI can do for you, especially when the AI is combined with the knowledge base that we have applied to it. It's going to pay a lot of dividends for those of you that do spend the time and interface it on a regular basis to get that disciplined view on your trades. It's going to help you become a more consistent trader. Give us your feedback. Let us know what you think, and we will continue to improve upon it. We'll certainly add a lot more functionality to it. And like I said, our goal is to make sure that this actually is embedded into the OptionsPlay platform. You don't actually have to go to the ChatGPT store or the ChatGPT app to access it. You'll be able to access it directly from OptionsPlay in your platform. So that is coming down the line, and we are very, very, very excited in this new direction for OptionsPlay. With that, thank you so much. I hope you guys all have a fantastic trading day, and I will see you guys here on the next session here, which next week, Brian will be back. He will be talking about managing butterflies. We will be doing more butterflies in our daily play trade, so we wanted to make sure we cover that kind of process for trade entry and trade exit, which we will include into our trading assistant as well. And then the following week, I will be back. We have a special session with Tom Sosnoff, me and Brian Overby and Tom Sosnoff. A really fantastic session that we have planned for you. So the next couple of weeks, a lot coming up. I'm really excited. And then the week after that, I think what I'll be back with is looking at earnings season and and as we kind of launch new functionality into our trading assistant, I'll be coming back and showing you more. So with that, thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great trading day, and I'll see you guys here on Monday morning for our Monday macro research session.